summer is coming to an end, which means I will soon build my full capsule wardrobe. But before I do, I also want to share some data for my summer capsule wardrobe because I've been tracking my daily outfits for the last 3 months, and I feel this analysis is so exciting because it's the best one that I've ever done. You will see. As I usually do, first I'm gonna tell you how much I wore each item in different categories, and then I'm gonna give you the lessons. And this is actually the first time that I'm using Index as my data collector. I used to do it in an Excel spreadsheet, but this time around I just have my Index app with all of the fun data, so I think this is gonna be super fun and exciting. Let's start with tops. I'm gonna start with my least worn items, and 2 tops that I wore 0 times are my white bodysuit and the black silk button-up, which I actually love this one, but just I haven't reached for it. And then I have 2 items that I wore only once. I have the orange off-shoulder top and the coral button-up again. Maybe you can see a trend already. Then this is the only top that I wore 2 times. It's just a fitted top from Zara. And then I have 3 tops that I wore 3 times. First is this crop beige tee that I absolutely love. Then I have just a classic halter vest top in a black color and this fun sleeveless blouse in a fuchsia pink color. So these are going right here. Again, I want to do everything visually. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3. Now the next item is actually a cardigan, which I used to do cardigans separately with my blazers, but Index counts cardigans as tops, so I'm just gonna do it the Index way. And this one is just a white long cardigan that I wore 4 times, so it's going right here. And then to the 2 tops that I wore 5 times. First is this gorgeous off-shoulder lace top, and then the second is this fitted black cami, again from Zara, the same as the white one, just in a different color. Then to the items that I wore 6 times, first I have the white crop tee, and then the new piece that maybe you've seen in my other videos, but just a classic fitted cami with really thin straps. And lastly, my most worn items, first I have the black halter top that I wore 8 times. Then I have another cardigan, this one is again really long in a black color that I wore 9 times. And then I have 2 items that I wore 10 times. First is this black cardigan that I'm wearing today, and the second is just a black fitted t-shirt with really fun sleeves. Also, so we can kind of know that this is included, I'm just gonna have an empty hanger at the end. And now to the lessons. The first one that I'm so excited about is that I finally figured out how many tops I can have in my capsule wardrobe, so I have variety, but then at the same time I won't feel overwhelmed. And this number really works for me. As you've seen by the numbers, I wore all of my items, I mean except these 2, very frequently, and I actually can compare it to my last summer capsule wardrobe that I did, I think it was 2 years ago, so you can really see the difference. Okay, so I have the data here. So 2 years ago for my summer capsule, my most worn top I wore 8 times. My second worn top I wore only 4 times, and then my third worn top I wore only 3 times. So you can see the difference and how this number is just so much better for me. And this lesson I'm gonna take with me right away, because when I'm building my full capsule wardrobe, I'm gonna make sure to kind of stay in this number of items because it just makes sense for my lifestyle. And then the second lesson that I kind of knew already, and you also know it if you watch this channel for a while, and that is that I just love my neutral colors. They always end up at the end and that just makes sense. For me, black color and white color is so versatile and so easy to style. And also this summer I wore loads of black because I don't know about you and where you live, but where I live, the weather was miserable. This is the worst summer that I remember. I don't know when we had such a bad summer. It was raining, it was cold, so when it's just a little bit more gloomy, I often go for black color. That's why I wear just a little bit more than usual. And then the third lesson is also something that I've talked about before, and that is that I love my crop tops. Again, they're always at the back. In the summer, the last thing that I want to do is put everything inside, so I'm then unnecessarily hot. And then the fourth lesson would be with my button-ups, because both of them are right at the front, which means I just didn't wear them. And I've noticed that before. I believe that in the summer I just don't reach for them. For some reason, it's not the style that I'm going for. Even though it was colder this summer, I still didn't wear them. So maybe the next time I'm building my summer capsule, I can exclude them. But you know, even if I don't wear every single item, that doesn't really hurt me or upset me. So sometimes that's gonna happen, and that's absolutely fine. Other than that, you can see my colors are at the front, which It's always kind of the case with me. I think I'm happy with the analysis of the tops. As I've said, I'm so excited that I finally figured out my magic number. That's why this analysis is the best one ever. I love it. And now let's continue with my dresses. Again, I'm gonna start with my least worn. I have two items here. First is this navy halter dress that I think it's adorable. And then I also have this black bodycon dress with really fun sleeves. And now to the items that I only wore once. First I have this gorgeous floral bodycon dress. And second, this cami, again, kind of bodycon dress. And they're both adorable again. And then the three items I wore 2 times. First I have this gorgeous floral maxi dress. Then I have another floral dress, this one is off shoulder, and lastly the third floral dress that has cold shoulders. As you can see, I love my florals in the summer. Then I have 2 items that I wore 4 times. First is this gorgeous coral dress that is really comfy, and then the second is the dress that I'm wearing today. I'm not sure if you can see it. It's just, again, floral. It's a midi dress that it's a little bit layered. So I'm gonna put it here and I'm gonna grab an extra empty hanger. And now to my winners. Here I have a black sleeveless bodycon dress that I wore 5 times and a black maxi cami dress that I wore 6 times. Okay, the first lesson that I kind of knew, but this just solidifies everything for me, and that is that I love my stretchy dresses. They're all at the back, even though this one is not the most flattering. Because it's so comfy and stretchy, I just reach for it a little bit more often. So in the future, I'm gonna make sure that my dresses are a little bit more elastic if I decided to buy anything. And then also when it comes to my floral dresses, do I love them? Yes, but I can see I don't get enough wear out of them, which means I will not allow myself to buy any floral dresses in the near future because I have more than enough. And then also, I think I mentioned this one before, the opposite of stretchy dresses are dresses that are just a little bit more rigid with a zipper. And here I have the cami dress with a zipper, and then also a navy dress with a zipper. They're not the most comfortable to wear, that's why I don't really reach for them. And then the last thing is that I don't really wear long sleeve dresses in the summer months. I like to layer in the summer because it can be colder in the morning, but then throughout the day it's gonna get hot, so I want to have that flexibility. Other than that, this is it. And lastly, let me count everything. I have 2, 4, 6, 11 dresses in total. And now let's continue with my bottoms. I have only one item that I wore 0 times, and these are the special occasion pants that I like to call them. They're black, high-waisted and white at the bottom. And yeah, I didn't expect to wear them a lot. Maybe I'm gonna crop them in the future so I can get the wear out of them, but for now, as they are, I didn't expect a lot to happen. And then I have 4 items that I wore only once. First, I have my high-waisted straight jeans. Second, another white pants. These are high-waisted and white at the bottom, perfect to wear with sneakers. And then I also have a white denim shorts and then black mini skirt. I think we can kind of see an obvious pattern here already. Then I have the tan high-waisted joggers that I wore 2 times. And then for the item that I wore 4 times is this black high-waisted satin midi skirt. And my black shorts that are high-waisted and really cute, I wore 5 times. Next to the item that I wore 6 times, and that is my high-waisted denim skirt that I think it's amazing. And then my jeans, these are high-waisted skinny jeans in medium wash, I wore 8 times. Again, I want you to see everything. And now to my most worn bottoms. First, I have black joggers that are high-waisted that I wore 9 times. Then my black shorts that I actually bought as part of a swim cover-up. And then I just decided during the summer to put them in my main capsule. I wore 9 times because they're so breathable and so easy to wear. And lastly, the clear winner, my denim shorts that I wore 12 times. I think the first very obvious lesson here is that I love my denim bottoms in the summer months, especially because, as I said before, because this summer was gloomy and I wore loads of black tops, I think I wanted to balance everything out with my denim shorts so I wouldn't just wear everything black all of the time. And then no surprise, we kind of knew that before, that I just don't wear my lighter bottoms because it's not that I don't love them, I do, but it's just I always get afraid of damaging them or getting them dirty or something like that. So this is psychological, it's not a practical problem, which is something that I kind of have to get over because this is really not the best use of my money for my items to just sit in my closet. So yes, I said this before, but you know, I'm saying it again, I'm gonna get over it, I promise. And lastly, when it comes to the quantity, I feel like this is just a little bit too much for my taste. I've said before in my other tracking videos that I want to have a bigger selection with my bottoms, and now here we are, and I just am feeling a little bit overwhelmed. So I would just have maybe 1, 2, or maybe 3 items less in my fall capsule or winter or spring. So that is something I'm gonna pay attention to. And then also another extra lesson, maybe you remember that I was debating to decluttering my denim skirt a while back, and my rule is that if I'm not sure, I'm not gonna force myself to declutter. So I just wanted to mention that if you're not sure about something, maybe you're gonna wear it more the next season, you don't have to force yourself to declutter, because my denim skirt, I absolutely loved it this summer. And now we can continue with the category that Index calls outerwear. First, the 2 blazers that I wore only one time. This one is a white fitted blazer, very classic. And then I also have a black blazer with silver buttons. Again, both are very classic and beautiful. And then to the blazer that I wore 3 times. This one is again in a black color, but it has gold buttons. And again, it's very, very beautiful. And lastly, to my denim jackets. First, I have the white denim jacket that is just a little bit more unique and special. It has this special design, and I wore it 10 times. And then my crop denim jacket is of course the winner because it goes with absolutely everything, and I wore it 20 times. I absolutely love the quantity here. For me, this is my first lesson that when it comes to outerwear, I want to have somewhere around 5 or up to 6 pieces max, so I can have that variety, but then at the same time I don't feel overwhelmed, because when I look at this, my brain just relaxes and I feel at peace, and that's what I'm looking for with my closet. Especially ever since I decluttered my coral blazer, I feel my outerwear is just a lot more peaceful for some reason. I love the neutrals much more. And then also when it comes to my blazers, obviously the lesson here is that I don't wear them a lot, but then I have to mention that when I do wear them, I feel like $1,000,000. So I think it's just the season of life that I'm in right now and how my lifestyle is. I think in the future, I'm gonna reach for them a lot more. As for my denim jackets, we know I love my denim jackets in the summer. I love the cropped denim. And the only thing that, if I'm kind of thinking about it, is that I wish my white denim jacket would be without any special details, because then I think it would be a lot more versatile and I would wear it and just feel a little bit better in it. This one is really fun, it's really unique, but it's a little bit hard to style sometimes. And now we still have the accessories, bags and shoes to go through, but before I show you everything, I also wanted to ask you that first, if you're enjoying this video, just give it a thumbs up. But then also I wanted to ask you if you even enjoy my tracking videos anymore, because I've done them so many times before, and I've done them for 3-month capsule, 6-month capsule, so I know some of you love them. That's why I'm making this one. But I wanted to ask you that if you want to see more of this in the future, every 3 months when I finish my capsule wardrobe, do you want to see the analysis, or would you prefer something like a yearly analysis where I do just 1 year in analysis, most worn, least worn, something like that? I would just really love to know, because of course I want to make videos that you enjoy watching. So this is just something that I wanted to mention. But now we can continue with my accessories. I have only one item that I wore 0 times, and that is my white belt with a silver buckle. And then the item that I wore 1 time is my satin scarf that it's really cute, it's really fun, and I just wore it in my hair. I could technically wear it on my bags, but I always forget. I have to put it in a different spot so I don't forget to use it, maybe in my main capsule. I don't know. If you have any suggestions, let me know, but I want to put it somewhere a little bit more visible because I always forget about this one. Oh, and I have another item that I only wore once, and that is my tan belt with a gold buckle. Really surprising. I thought I wore it more. Then my white belt with a gold buckle I wore 2 times. Next is my black belt with a silver buckle that I wore 4 times. And then 2 items that I wore 5 times. They're both my straw hat. This one I wore 5 times and this one as well. And when I added the elastic to the black one, because this one had one already, now they're kind of equal and I love wearing them both. And then the winner is my black belt with a gold buckle that I wore 8 times, and I'm gonna just put it on top. And for this summer, for some reason, I just didn't wear my belts all that much, but I do love my belts. I do wear them loads throughout the year. Just this summer, I just kind of wasn't feeling them, probably because I wore a lot of my bottoms that they don't have the loopholes. My satin skirt and also the new black shorts, they don't have a loophole. That's why I really couldn't wear this. So maybe a lesson here is that I can add some loopholes, I'm not sure how I call them, to my bottoms that I love, so I can make them a little bit more versatile. Other than that, these are my summer accessories done. And now we're gonna go through my bags, which I have so many. I have to declutter soon, but I'm gonna start again with my least worn items. And this one is the coral bag that I wore 0 times, which is a little bit surprising. And then I also have another bag that I wore 0 times, which is not surprising because this one is more of a fall, winter and spring bag for me. Then my pink bag I only wore once. And then my coral bag I wore 4 times, which is again a little bit surprising, but I'm gonna talk more about that in a second. Then the brand new bag I absolutely adore and I wore it 5 times already. My nude camera bag I wore 6 times. My black crossbody bag I wore 7 times. Then I have 2 bags that I both wore 8 times. This one is a brand new bag that I've just been wearing non-stop. And again, I just love it so much. And then I also have the chalk color and they're both really nice. And then the 2 clear winners. First, I have my backpack that I wore 17 times. And then I have my black tote bag that I wore 22 times. My first lesson that I mentioned before is that I just have too many bags right now. This for me is overwhelming. Even though I love my bags, I just have too many of them. So I'm gonna do a good handbag declutter very soon. Stay tuned for that. And then the second lesson that is really surprising, and I'm gonna take them both. Considering these are the same color and how much I wear them, I don't really need to have 2 of the same in my collection, which is kind of obvious and you probably guessed already. And then the third lesson is when it comes to my color palette. As you know me, I love a pop of color, but most of my bags, I have the coral, I have the pink, and then I also have a red one that is in storage, but most of them are really bright and in your face. And I've realized they're a little bit hard to style. That's why I recently got 2 colorful bags. They're just a little bit more subtle. And then I also want to talk about hardware because I know in the past I talked about how I prefer bags without any noticeable hardware, but now I got 2 new bags with really in-your-face hardware. So I want to explain that because what I realized is 2 things. First is I decluttered my jewelry collection and I decluttered most of my rose gold items, which means my bags don't need to be as versatile for my jewelry as before. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is that I learned how to mix and match my gold and silver jewelry in a way that feels intentional and it feels like me. And now I don't really see such a huge problem to have gold items in my collection because I want to have both bags that are really versatile in just one color without the metals, and then I also want to just have some bags that feel like jewelry for my outfit. And now the last category is the shoes, and Bunny is gonna join us, of course. First I have the nude slingback heels that I wore 0 times. Then my black slingback heels I wore 1 time. My nude heeled sandals I wore 2 times. Then my nude loafers I wore 3 times, but the caveat here is that I had them in storage until I did my shoe declutter, so I only wore them recently 3 times. I think the number would be higher if I had them the entire summer. Then my nude ballerinas I wore 4 times. And now to my most worn shoes. My silver jelly sandals I wore 18 times, as well as my white sneakers. Both of these I wore 18 times. And then my new jelly sandals I wore 24 times. And these are the shoes in the row, so you can see everything. The lessons here is because I've decluttered so many of my wedges, I think this is pretty amazing, but you can see that I'm wearing my heels the least. Now a good month ago I sprained my left foot. That's another reason why I didn't wear my heels all that much, but still I don't wear heels that often, which I kind of knew already. Then when it comes to closed shoes, again in the summer it's often too hot for them. Now this summer I could wear them more. I think this I actually would if I would have them out. These are my most worn shoes. They're all flat, very versatile, and I love my open shoes in the summer except for white sneakers. So I don't think I have anything special to add here. This is the analysis done, and if you watch the entire video, leave me a check emoji down below so I can know, like a little graph so I can know. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.